Hello, and welcome back to the Ketchup Court podcast. I go by the name of Heinz, and thank you so much for tuning back in for another episode. Now, this trial has been going on for at least 2 weeks now, three weeks now. We're now on week 3, and we're going through day 5 to day 9 of the case. Now, in the previous weeks, I have you can go back and watch. I have thought that the defense has made a good case, but I personally think that the prosecution has come back a bit stronger these days, and we're gonna go through some testimonies from days 5 to 9 that may support this, because I think they are putting on a case that is not looking very favorable to Diddy, in my opinion. And yeah, we're gonna go through testimony from Don Richards, testimony from Kerry Morgan, as well as David James. These Don Richards is a Danity Kane, and she was also part of Diddy the Dirty Money. So she will be testifying, I believe, to the RICO part to the RICO part of the charge. And Kerry Morgan was a friend of Cassie. I believe she's also testifying to the RICO part, and David James was also was the escort, I believe. He was the assistant that was hired. We shall also be going through the testimony of Cassie's mom, who is Regina Ventura, as well as Sharay Hayes. He is the escort that was hired for a free cuff. He gave testimony to his part he played, and we shall also be going through Kid Cudi's testimony, as well as the other testimonies that are helping to shape the idea that this was a criminal enterprise that Diddy was using in order to coerce many individuals to doing his bidding. So yeah, there is a lot to go through today. We're not gonna BS around. We're just gonna go through the testimonies. I don't have the official transcripts. I'm just gonna use the NSC press. Credit to him, who has been in the courtroom daily, and he has been live tweeting. So we shall be going through what he has been putting out there in the public to see how strong the prosecution case is. Do they have a case? Well, we're going to be talking about that and going through that through the stream. So without further, let's go into the first testimony, which was the testimony of, I believe, is a testimony of Don Richard. And he this is what you're gonna go through. It says, when Mr. Combs told you people could go missing, how did you interpret it? That people could die. I couldn't believe this could be the beginning of the journey of us. As Diddy Dirty Money? Yes. What did you observe? He would drag her and kick her and punch her in the mouth. So this is the direct exam, and they're talking about Cassie here. What would prompt these acts of violence? The objection is overruled, and she responds by saying when she would speak up for herself. Who in security witnessed these things. D-Rock and Bond. So we went through Cassie's. We went through a bit of a testimony last week. So again, she is opining to what was happening with Cassie. Where did Miss Ventura get hit? Her knees, her face, all over. Did there come a time you were in NY for a festival? Yes, in Central Park. In the residence, what happened? He punched Cassie. She came into the bathroom crying. You could see her upset, like she was hurt. Objection sustained. I'm guessing that's for speculation. What injuries did you observe? A swollen eye. Why would you remain with Ms. Ventura after this incident? I wanted her to feel supported. What's this? The Central Park event. And they showed a photo of some gun gliders with Don Richard and Cassie. Let me try. I think I have the photo here. I'm gonna try and get it up. I believe it's here. Here. This is the photo. This is the Central Park concert that was done, and Cassie was there. Okay, let's go back into the reading. Why did you wear them? Solidarity. The next I saw who was there. D-Rock, Capricorn Clark, Half Pierre. Who is Mr. Pierre? At Bad Boy answering to Sean Combs. Did they do anything? None of us did anything. When we drove back to LA, he slapped Cassie in the mouth and told her to shut the F up. How did the passengers respond? We stayed silent the rest of the ride. I asked myself, if he did that to someone he supposedly loved, what he'd do to an employee, so that I would approach Mr. Combs with softness. Did you try to intervene in their relationship? No, for my own safety. Did you see Mr. Combs using drugs? Yes, weed, ketamine, Molly, and cocaine. Opiates, that I never saw. Who brought him the drugs? One stop, he had it all, including Plan B, birth control. Did you see Mr. Combs with guns? Yes, handguns on his lower back. Who had the guns, or who else had the guns? Who else had the guns? I believe I should be saying. D-Rock and Bonds. What did you do after Bad Boy? Whenever I got momentum, I would get to FaceTime from him. How would you speak to him? Very soft. I would always call him. Always call him bro. Why did you not disclose the abuse you seen? I was told not to by Mr. Combs and Ava Pierre. When did you speak out? 2024. I saw Ms. Ventura take the stand and tell the truth. Objection sustained. She wouldn't know that. She can't really testify to that. I think that might be speculation. Did you see Ms. Ventura file a lawsuit and then file your own? Yes. Cross-examination. So Westmoreland is doing a cross. You're aware that there's a motion to dismiss with your lawsuit. I have civil lawyers. You sat with the prosecutors and your allegations have changed. I've been consistent. You testified he attempted to hit her about You testified he attempted to hit her about the eggs, and Miss Ventura dropped down in a fetal position, right? Yes. Did you ever say you heard a pan hit the wall? You didn't see it? I don't recall. Would you agree with me it had been hard for you to keep your story straight with respect to this egg incident? I told it as close as I could. The day after, you say Mr. Combs said, people go missing. Yes. Let's go to your interview on March 18, 2025. You did not say anything about Mr. Combs about Mr. Combs told you people go missing. I don't recall that. No worries. I'm gonna show you a document for parties only, page 5. Isn't it true the first time you said this was a week ago? Would you like me to show you your previous interviews? I know what I said. You said Mr. Mr. Combs made a death threat, one that you didn't recall 7 times. Let's move on. We didn't get answers to that, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, it says, let's move to the alleged incident before the Central Park concert. You are aware there was a camera crew, not in the bathroom. Sorry, you were filmed in the park. Are you aware if the video has been turned over? No. About the guns, you didn't tell the prosecutors about I saw guns at Diddy's house. They didn't ask. You never saw Mr. Guns put a gun out and wave it around, load bullets or cock it. He just had it. Did you tell the government you never saw Mr. Combs do cook baking soda? I do not recall. Your testimony has changed on quite a few things. As time progresses, I remember more. I thought this was ridiculous because you don't remember when you tend to forget more. So I thought this was ridiculous. Anyway, he goes on to say, you saw One Stop sell drugs. You saw him take money. Yes. All right. 1 second. Did you tell the government you never saw anyone pay him? So you lied, right? No. It was you who reached out to Mr. Combs to work with him again. Yes. But he had threatened you, right? You asked him to work with you again? Yes. Okay. The songs you release on your own have not reached the level of what you released with Danny Kane and Diddy Money, right? True. And you reached out to Mr. Combs to try to make more money, right? Yes. Coming out short sidebar. Okay, the back. Okay. Why did you file your civil lawsuit? When I worked for Sean Combs, I had no sleep. The conditions. In every meeting with the government, did you say that Mr. Combs beat Miss Ventura? Yes. Why would you reach out to Mr. Combs? One of the judge on making the ban Lauren Gibson, I wanted to reach out objection. I'm guessing that's hearsay. How often would you hear from Mr. Combs after you left Diddy the Dirty Money? Sporadic. Why did you reach out? To help Kalina Harper. No further questions. Okay, moving on. So I did not see the redirect, so there is no post of the redirect here, but it goes back into recross. And Westmoreland said, ask, you admit you reached out to Mr. Combs to re-engage. You claim only to have a relationship with Lorianne Gibson, but if it got back together, you would have to see Mr. Combs more, right? Yes. You sued for money, right? For justice, but the suit asked for money, right? Yes. No further questions, and there was no redirect. So apart from the fact that we didn't get a redirect to see how the government had performed, it is important to note that what she was trying to paint was the fact that Cassie was being coerced into forced labor, forced labor with the RICO element or predicate of the sex trafficking charge, and that's what they were trying to establish, and that's what Dawn Richards came to testify for, as well as herself, because she was trying to make it seem, especially with the hours that she was working, etc. She was trying to make it seem as if she was going through a lot, that she was under forced labor with this RICO and with this enterprise. However, I think that the cross-examination here was really strong, because end of the day, she went back to work with him as they brought out when the album wasn't doing right. This does not suggest forced labor. It suggests that she had normal work conditions, because the music industry is you do have to do a lot of hours when you're self-employed, which is the music industry. So really and truly, I thought that the defense scored a lot of points with this witness on the recross. The credibility of they try to attack her credibility a little bit in regards to the OX situation and the beating Cassie's situation, because again that would show that Cassie was an employee was an employee of Bad Boy, as she was signed to a 10 album deal. If she was being abused, and this would mean that she was doing things under forced labor, which would add to the RICO predicate of sex trafficking as well, because they're trying to show that the free cuffs were done under the business premises, etc. So they're trying to prove that sex trafficking element there. So that's but I thought that the defense done well by trying to show that everything that they were doing was what people would normally do in the music industry. But I don't think it was strong, because if you're seeing people get abused and you can't speak out, again, that would show that you're like. But there's more to come that we're going to speak about in regards to these charges brought. So the next week witness up was Kerry Morgan. Let's hold on. Let me just come to the stream. Okay, so the government calls Kerry Morgan. Where do you live? LA. Who is this? Cassie Ventura. What was your relationship? We were best friends. Her boyfriend assaulted me. Do you see him here? Yes, there in a yellow sweater. Let the record reflect the witness identified Sean Combs. Why are you here? I got a subpoena. Where did you live with Cassie? Manhattan. Did Cassie drink? Not much. Any drugs? None. What was she doing for work? Modeling. Then she recorded me and you. When did you learn that they were dating? 2007. So immediately I can tell that what they're trying to establish is the idea that Mr. Combs was the one that coerced her into doing drugs, etc. That all these things that he was the one that introduced her to her life. But I think to that life. But I think it's weak, because end of the day they still haven't established if Sean Combs had actually made her take drugs, like if he had forced her to take drugs. I don't think they can get there by trying to argue that because she was getting abused, etc., then she would do drugs to cope, or all those things. I don't think they'll get there, but because they need to show that she directly influenced, maybe not directly influenced, but more or less forcibly taking drugs is a better way to say it. Moving on, it says, did you travel with Cassie and Mr. Combs? Yes, Ibiza, Miami. What drugs did Mr. Combs provide? Molly, marijuana, ecstasy. What did Mr. Combs take? Or did you take drugs alone with Cassie? Opiates. How did Mr. Combs act? He would yell at Cassie. She lost her confidence big time, lost her spark. Did Mr. Combs talk down to Cassie? Yes, about her looks. Who she talked to? Did he contact you looking for her? A lot. Sometimes he would call 50 times in a row. Would others call you for him? Yes, Christina Coram or KK. Did you witness assaults? Yes, first in Hollywood Hills. Ruben, one of his security guards, was there. What did Mr. Combs do to Cassie? He kicked her. What did she do? Nothing. I told Ruben to do something. He indicated he wouldn't. Then what? We left the house. Cassie and I were hiding by someone's front steps. Now, with the security guards not interfering with the abuse, does suggest that they were in concert with the abuse that's going on, because they witnessed what I could probably say is, for the RICO predicate, because they only have to prove two out of 8 predicates. What I think that they will get him on is is because we're gonna read more testimony, and there's more gonna come out to show how these bodyguards were active in the enterprise. So it's not just about not doing anything. I think if that's all the government brought, it wouldn't be a strong enough case. They will need more than just standing around and not doing anything, because it's not. I mean, it's not part of the predicate to things like assault, etc. I didn't read that as part of the predicate or of what's needed. So I don't know exactly how its employees not getting involved would help with the RICO. Is what I'm trying to say. And the next time in Jamaica, I saw him drag her by her hair. I ran back to get my purse and phones so we could leave. What did you see next? I thought she was knocked out. Then she got up and ran into a wooded area. What happened next? There are 2 golf carts in the driveway. I got one and Sean got in the other. We went in different directions looking for Cassie. Did you find her? Yes. Then we hid in ditch whispering. What about the incident at Comstock? Cassie came back with a hoodie covering her face. Then Sean came and tried to get in, hitting the door with a hammer. I called D-Rock. Then did he get in? No. Then the police came. What happened? Cassie wouldn't show him her ID. Nothing happened. They left a card. Read this message. Did you send an attachment? Yes, a photo of the card the detective left. Did Mr. Combs ever assault you? Yes, he hit me with a coat hanger and choked me. Where did the hanger hit you? Behind my right here. Or what did he express concern about? Who Cassie was cheating on him with? Who did you speak to about it? Ryan, Sean's old assistant. What did he do? Nothing. I have not spoken with Cassie since. Now, I personally think that this is more to speak to his character, because end of the day, she wouldn't be relevant to the case. She would, because she wasn't working for Bad Boy or anything like that. She was a friend of Cassie, so her assault wouldn't be relevant to the case. And I think she was only put on to speak to the RICO enterprise part and how Sean was as a person, and how much influence he had over his employees. That's what I'm thinking. I'm guessing. I have no idea. I'm guessing that's a significance. Cross-examination says you were Miss Ventura's best friend since 2004. Actually, 2001. We met waiting for the Polaroids to develop. I was living in Buffalo. She was in Connecticut. Then you were both in NYC. I stayed downtown. She moved to Harlem. Have you ever met Kim Porter? Yes, probably at a concert. Was Cassie ever jealous? Yes. And the other way, Cassie was speaking with Michael B. Jordan and Sean got jealous. She was trying to leave him. You were both using drugs? No, we were in South Africa. Did you learn about Gina? Yes. He was having a full-on relationship with this little girl. Why do you call her that? She was younger than us. When you and Sean came and hammered on the door, why did the police come? They said because of the noise. What did they say to you? Cassie was visibly injured, but she didn't say anything. You two were best friends for 18 years, but now you haven't spoken with her since 2018. That's true. At the danger of being captain, or capital obvious, I'm not too sure. That's a long time. She's moved on. Objection. I'm guessing that was sustained. Why haven't you spoken with her? She did not support me after Sean assaulted me. I tried that line at assault. You reached a settlement with Miss Ventura. The money came from Mr. Combs. Do you know if Louise Hayes is a self-help author about self-affirmation? Yes. Why did you send him this? with words of encouragement. I don't remember sending it. Okay. I want to show you a few more photos. But first, let's talk about the incident when he put his hands on your neck. Were you and Cassie using drugs at any time? No. What did he say? He said who she is cheating with. You went to an urgent care and not the hospital, right? Right. But you don't. The prosecutors, it was bloody, and I'm supposed to say, but you don't tell the prosecutors it was bloody and you went to the hospital. I don't remember that. Look at this. The material was not shown to the jury. I see that. I said that. Now I'm guessing cross examination is done. Do you remember Mr. Agnifila asking you about the incident in LA Combs in LA, and he was objected, he was overruled, and he hit her like in Jamaica, arguing about jealousy? Something is missing there. A lot is missing here. What happened in Jamaica? He dragged Cassie by her hair, a 50-yard hallway. Was he talking about jealousy? No. He says she spent too long in the bathroom. Nothing further. Any recourse? No. So I think her testimony was mainly to highlight the distribution of drugs, though I think that was weak. They didn't really show how the drugs was distributed, etc. Nor did they prove coercion to do drugs, which I think if they did, they would have a much stronger case. But I think that she did highlight a lot more to do with the commercial sex acts, these commercial sex acts activity in regards to the sex trafficking predicates in the RICO part in regards to Cassie Ventura, because if she was being, because it depends on the language as well, because let me try and get it up, because it's here. Let me try and get it up, because when they brought the when they brought the indictment, it's here. It says, let me just go through it quickly. The term commercial sex act means any sex act on account of which anything is valuable to a person. The term serious harm means any harm, whether physical, non-physical, including psychological, financial, or reputational harm that is sufficiently serious under all sorts of surrounding circumstances to compel a reasonable person of the same background and in the same circumstances to perform or continue performing commercial sexual activity in order to avoid incurring that harm. So this is where the Mann Act would come in to speak to that, because the sexual activity could be these freak-offs as well, and if she was getting abused, that will speak to the coercion aspect to engage in that. But the distinction is quite clear because it has to be in the context of a freak-off. So when I see this testimony, yes, abuse occurred, but I don't think they're going into the sex trafficking part. I think it's getting hard to prove, but it was in the sex trafficking of this is the RICO predicate that was brought here. It's here on the titles 151 to 1592. So so I personally don't think it says it whether knowingly in or affecting intersect or foreign commerce within a special maritime and territorial jurisdiction of the U.S. recruits, entices, harbors, transports, provides, obtains, maintains, patronizes, or solicits by any person. So, and I think this is where all of that come in. That's my own interpretation of it. So I think she speaks to the coercive nature or how the abuse that she's enduring could be coercing her to basically stay and aid, and why she couldn't say no to the free cuff. So that's why I think her testimony is important here, to kind of establish that she was being restrained, that there was that because of the abuse she endured, there was a restraining aspect to that relationship, to that working relationship that she had, because again, she was on the 10 album deal. You can also argue it's also forced labor under the RICO statute as well. You can argue that, and I think that's what they're mainly arguing, that is mainly falling into that. That's why I think. I don't know. So the next witness up is David James. Why are you here? I've been subpoenaed. Were you Combs' personal assistant from 2007 to 2009? Who is that? Who is that in this photo? That is David James. That is yourself? Yes. I went to college in Michigan. Later, I faxed my resume to Bad Boy. Where was the interview? 1710 Broadway. Who did you meet? Tommy, his sister Keisha, and others. How did they test you? They gave me 40 appointments and asked me to make a schedule. You had to know, for example, what time a particular show on Hot 97 came on. What did Mr. Combs ask you? To make a spreadsheet for Miami. I said I would know his food and restaurant preferences. He asked me why I would make a good assistant. I said can't stop, won't stop. I got the job. Did he have others? Miss Robles, Mr. Barber, others. What would you do as assistant? Bad Boy to 5, then out to dinner, then to studio to 3 a.m. We would get a call time at the end of the night. Did you travel with Mr. Combs as well? Yes. Who were the security? D-Rock, Bonds, Uncle Paulie. You work for 20 hours a day? Yes, security did too. So I'm guessing they're highlighting this part to show that the labor was extensive. What did security staff tell you? To stay in my lane. Who said that? Bond, Uncle Paulie. Focusing on his personal chef. Who is this? I'm guessing it says Chef Jordan. Did Mr. Combs have girlfriends then? Kim Porter, Sarah, Tara, Yana, and Cassie. What was your first conversation with Cassie? We were on Star Island. Kerry Morgan was there too. Cassie said, this lifestyle is crazy. I asked her, why don't you leave? She said, Sean controls my life, my music, he pays for my apartment. So this goes into the forced labor part, and you can also argue in regards to the sexual trafficking part, in regards to the free cuffs, that this would apply for the restraint part, to where serious harm was being done physically. So, but it depends on the context. But I think that they're doing a good job in showing the coercion part, not the coercion, the forced labor here, because she says, Sean controls my life, my music, he pays for my apartment. Next conversation, it was about her music, but the album never came out. Did you ever hear the conversation? Yes. Mr. Combs said, Kim is my queen, out in LA with my family. He said, I have Cassie right where I want her. She is young and moldable. I don't think that's good, because again, it just helps with the coercion angle that the jury might buy, that she was engaging in these sexual acts because of the fact that this was Mr. Combs' intent with Cassie. That's what David James is establishing here. And they're gone on a break, and I think that was it. That was it for the day. So let's go into day 6. So that was day 5 done. This is day 6. Okay, so back it says, what about physical violence between Mr. Combs and Cassie? Did you personally observe it? No, I did not. Do you remember a blog post? Yes, I was in LA when he came back from a club. What did Mr. Combs say? That someone was lying on him, saying he hit Cassie at a club. He went through my browser history. No one has ever done that to me. Did Mr. Combs give you clear instructions about Cassie to bring her food at the London hotel? Some Roscoe's. What is Roscoe's? Some delicious fried chicken in Los Angeles. What did you do for Mr. Combs in NY? I would bring him applesauce, jello, Fiji water, his toiletry bag with ointments just for men. We bought 40 items so he wouldn't call us later. I would get a key like at the Trump International. I would set up the medicine bag in the personal LV bag. What was it? What was in it? A Viagra, ecstasy, and perks. How did you go about replenishing these supplies? I would use my personal credit card. Bad boy, pay me back. Who paid you back? Usually bonds. Did Mr. Combs ever stay alone in a hotel? Never. Usually Cassie, sometimes other women. Did he ask you for things during a stay? He would text me for an iPod or food. Did anything strange ever happen? Yes. In Miami, he asked for an iPod from his house on Star Island. I drove it to his hotel and knocked. No answer. I had the key. I would set up the room. What did you see? Cassie on the bed. There was another person who sort of scurried away and the shower was on. I thought Mr. Combs was in there. How was she sleeping? On her back. Objection is sustained. I guess that's speculation, I guess. What about the other person? He was about 5'8" with long hair and a large endowment. He scurried away. Did you ask anything? I wasn't hired to ask about their personal affairs. Did you ever pick up drugs for Mr. Combs? Yes, Percocets and pharmacy. Sometimes in my name. Did you give him permission to use your name? I don't recall that. Was there a drug dealer? Yes, one stop. He met with a lot of people? Yes, often even former presidents. Which one? Former President Obama. What was your understanding would have happened if you hadn't done these things? Objection is sustained. I guess that's speculation as well. Did you ever take ecstasy? Yes, I was drinking Ciroc. I took ecstasy. I was Diddy bopping. What do you mean? I was vibing. That's how Diddy was famous. You even have. Did you speak with Mr. Combs about it? He was reviewing footage of the party. We had a videographer who filmed the parties. He asked me, "Hey Playboy, was that you dancing around at the party?" I said yes, and he said, "I'm going to keep the video in case I ever need it," meaning that I'll be embarrassed. So this was his employee, and you can kind of say this goes towards forced labor, as in there is threat of blackmail here. Although it's quite vague, but you can kind of argue that. I do think that the drug element that they might have a hard time proving, because I'm surprised why they didn't bring drug charges as well, because they did find him in possession of drugs, which was the ecstasy when they raided his home. So I'm very surprised that they didn't bring that, but I'm not sure, it's illegal to procure, I'm guessing, get drugs. I'm not too sure in regards to the statute of that, but they could have brought that separately. But in regards to the RICO, for what I do know, I think it's more to do with to the distribution of these drugs rather than the procuring. So I don't think that they're doing a good job showing that, unless they're bringing in to say that he was coercing his employees to take the drugs. Maybe you can argue that. Did anything ever go missing? They said a bracelet was missing. Uncle Paulie came to my hotel room and searched my belongings and those of my girlfriend at the time. Could you have said no? Objection. I'm guessing that's speculation as well. Did you ever had to take a lie detector test? Yes. Who was present? Just me and this gentleman. It was very intimidating. They put monitors on my head, my chest, and my hand. Could you refuse not to keep my job? That goes into forced labor as well, because of what the things he would have to do to keep his job. So that plays into RICO. Did this happen again? Yes. When Mr. Combs said a watch of his had been stolen, what was the result? The gentleman told me I seemed nervous. I said, sure, I sure am. Once Capricorn Clark had to take a lie detector test, a lie detector to prove she wasn't part of the heist of Mr. Combs' jury. Was there an incident at Mel's Diner with Suge Knight? Yes, I drove the Silver Navigator to get cheeseburgers there. D-Rock said, that's mother effing Suge Knight. He went over and said, what's up? Suge didn't recognize him. D-Rock said, I'm Biggie's boy. What happened next? We noticed 4 black SUVs to different sides of the parking lot. I saw someone hand Suge Knight a gun. D-Rock said, we gotta get out of here. We drove back to the house. What did you find there? Cassie was crying. Mr. Combs got in the vehicle. I saw 3 guns on his lap. I felt calm because we'd been in a silver vehicle, now a black one. They wouldn't see us coming. What did you find at Mel's Diner? Suge Knight had left. Mr. Combs said, drive around the block. What did you decide? To leave the company. They offered me other positions, but I just wanted to leave. My life was at risk. No further questions. Mr. Cross-examination. You didn't tell all this the first time. They told me to stop, to not say anything that would incriminate me. I'm guessing he took he played the fifth or took a immunity deal. Look at the notes from your interview. Read it to yourself, then look up at me. Okay? How would you recognize Suge Knight? I listen to hip hop. Were you drinking or smoking pot? No, sir. Your mind was clear as could be, working 20 hours a week at 4 a.m. Ouch. D-Rock opens the door. Suge Knight in a few cars over. Window open. Window open. So D-Rock says, I'm Biggie's boy, and then Suge recognizes him, gives him a dab. What's a dab? Handshake. Did you leave D-Rock at the diner? Why are you smiling? Because that's a crazy question. Why would I? Didn't you leave D-Rock at the diner? That makes no sense. I'm not asking what makes sense. I'm asking, did you? No. You said you saw Cassie and Mr. Combs. Yes, Mr. Combs told me to drive. You don't know where Mr. Combs got the guns, do you? I didn't know we had guns until then. Have you ever been in a situation like that? No. You didn't say, I don't want to drive to Suge Knight with guns? No. The interesting thing about this guns part is, and I don't know too much about it and how much it plays into RICO, unless you illegally obtain them. Maybe that's where it plays a part. Because I know that guns is legal in the States. But I'm not sure why they brought it. If these guns were obtained lawfully, I wouldn't see how it would play a part. I'm looking through the indictment again, and I just can't see how the guns play a part into the RICO, and I don't know why. I don't know why the prosecution is focusing a lot on it, but maybe it's playing to his character or those things. I have no idea. What exactly did you do before you got this job? I was a door-to-door salesman, then a personal assistant. Now you were going with guns to confront someone. It was not ideal. You knew how to get to Mel's Diner, right? I frequent there all the time. You never seen guns before, right? No. This is a radical departure from your job description. Is that understatement? Is the understatement of the day so far. Do you have immunity? Asked my lawyer. I have some kind of offer agreement. They proffered. You didn't tell anyone about this, only my wife. Did you meet with the government this morning? Yes, briefly, about what might come up in Cross. Did the Mel Diner incident come up? Not that I recall. It's this morning. What did you talk about? Your style. I'm dying to ask what they said, but I won't. I wish this case was recorded so that I can laugh as well, because it seems like there's some funny moments out of this trial. Anyway, I have a few more mundane questions. I love mundane questions. Where did you travel to, with Mr. Combs? Ibiza, London, Central Pay. Were these vacations business orientated? What were you hired as? Personal liaison, but I was a personal assistant. He met a high level roster of people. Second understatement of the day. Why? He met with a who is who. It was important that he be prepared for these meetings, right? Yes. It was important that he be on time. No, we changed meetings to fit his schedule all the time when he didn't want to show up at a certain time. Yeah, he has security because people wanted to touch him, right? Yes, in the airport, in McDonald's, was he gracious? I don't think gracious is the word I'll use for Sean Combs. Did he sign autographs? No. You said he stay in the studio until 3 or 4 a.m. and you stay with him? Yes, it was common. What sort of things would he want to always have with him? Ketchup, for example. Did you know he put applesauce on cheeseburgers? No, but I knew he likes applesauce. He liked Astroglide condoms and baby oil, but didn't you expense it through the business? Usually not. I was told he didn't want to run them through the company. He didn't want them. He didn't want a record of them. This is bad. The defense. I don't. This coming in. It means he was using, but it's not a criminal act to get baby oil and all those things. But what they were using them for is what's important, because if they're using them for free cuffs, all those things, it goes under the sex trafficking predicate. And the fact that James just basically admitted that he didn't want them on record, the defense, I'm pretty sure they didn't want her to come in, and I don't think they're doing good here. I'm pretty sure they didn't want her to come in, and I'm pretty sure they did not expect him to say that you wouldn't call Sean Combs gracious, because again, he just adds to that bad image that he has. When you bought the 8 ball of Coke on Central Pay, you didn't tell Mr. Combs, did you? He was asleep. Tell me about your relationship with Roger Bonds. I do think that part is good there, because it kind of shows that it was a personal purchase rather than a business transaction. We talked about Bad Boy as a family. What do you mean? Mama Combs called me a son many times. What was the mission? Make sure he's happy. Was it fun? I enjoyed it from time to time. What was your relationship with Chef Jordan? Professional. Did you choke her? No. Objection. Okay, tell me what happened. We were on Star Island. She told me where to take him. I grabbed 2 wrists and said, "Stay in your effing lane." Was there fallout? It was reported to corporate HQ. Mr. Combs called me in. Mr. Combs told me, "You can't be putting your hands on women." So rich. He told me to give her a gift. What did you give her? I rolled up a blunt and gave it to her. Did she like it? It appears she did. You were in a car with Mr. Combs. That is so rich. What do you mean don't put your hands on women? You're on camera. I'm pretty sure. I wish I could. I was in a courtroom to see how the jury reacted to that. You were in a car with Mr. Combs and who? Chris Lighty. You have taken ecstasy? I'll probably sure. What were the things like in the studio? Drugs? Yes, it was a creative environment. I didn't smoke when working with Mr. Combs, but he caught you smoking once. I thought he was in for the light. I lit up. He came out. He said, "What are you doing?" I said nothing. He said, if you're man enough to smoke, you're man enough to tell me." I said, "Okay, I'm smoking." He said, if I did it again, he will fire me. How about when you pick up 2 prostitutes and have sex with one? Objection. She asked for $200. I called Buns and asked what the hell. She asked to take a shower. I said that's $200. On that note, no further question. So from redirect says, what about the incident in Alpine, New Jersey? to file a police report and say that Chef Jordan had been the aggressor, but I didn't file it. I drove around and told him I made the report. What have we asked you to do? To tell the truth? Nothing further. You lied to Mr. Combs about filing the police report? Yes, nothing further. Okay, so from what I understood from David James' testimony is that the fact that he was using credit cards to go through and purchase drugs, you can maybe argue that this is drug distribution. Although I'm not, I would have to go through that and understand exactly what that predicate stands for. But again, he would have been brought with drug related charges if. I'm surprised why he wasn't, because if they actually have raided the house and got to come, so I'm surprised that wasn't brought up. But like I said, he was more to opine into the RICO enterprise, and I think he did that adequately in regards to the role he had to play and the fact that he was told to lie to the police and file a report, but he didn't do it. I think if he did it, it would have been a stronger case to kind of put more acts on him in regards more criminal acts in terms of lying to the police. I think he would have played a part in that, but because he didn't do it, maybe you can infer that back. Anyway, let's go to the next witness, who is Regina Ventura. And this is Cassie's mother. It says, "Who is this? Sean Combs. He dated my daughter. When did you meet Sean Combs? 2006. My daughter signed with his bad boy records. He was her boss. Then they started dating. They moved to LA. Read this message from December 2011. Cassie wrote to me. Cassandra wrote to me. She said Sean Combs threatened to release her a sex tape and go after her and Mr. Cudi. How did you react? He made me sick. Sean Combs demanded $20K. He said to recoup the losses due to Mr. Cudi from my husband and myself. So he basically put a price on Cassie, basically. So maybe you can argue again that this is the prostitution predicate of the RICO. You can argue that because it seems like she was maybe that's what that testimony elicits, or kind of maybe that's what the testimony kind of suggests to the jury, that she was being used as a prostitute as well as being a bad boy employee. Why did you take a loan to pay Mr. Combs? For the safety of my daughter. You can also argue psychological harm as well in regards to this and financial harm. Look in the binder next to you. These are the photos I took of my daughter's bruises from Sean Combs. Do you know Mia? She was an employee of Sean Combs. What happened? We were in the kitchen laughing. Sean asked her why she was laughing. She stopped and looked plain. Now to August 2016, we're done with the binder. While in LA, did you call the police? Yes. Sean Combs stole Cassandra's phone. They had a bitter argument outside her apartment. She lived on the 17th floor. They argued at the runabout. Who else was there? D-Rock. Is Damien Butler his government name? He was standing between us. I tried to hit him. Sean Combs took Cassandra's car, a Jaguar. No further questions. There was no cross, which I thought was the best, because like I think all she established was the financial harm, how she was being coerced. That's what I think she established with her testimony, because she was the one that was documenting her injuries, and she basically established that during cross. I can't find the exhibits right now. Gosh, next time we will have the exhibits prepared. Okay, Sharay Hayes' testimony. Um, uh, his testimony was mainly to again go into the sex trafficking charge, predicates in regards to the RICO charge that was brought. I'm gonna go straight to the cross examination in regards to Hayes. 1 second. Let me just get there. Bear with me, just trying to find it. Okay. Okay, let me just go through it. Let's just go through the cross examination. It says, "I'll try and make this as simple as possible." What's the actually? I'll try and make this as simple as possible. Congratulations on your book. What is it called? In Search of Freezer Meat. What's harder than that? Good title. You have a website? Yes. Now I'm a co-owner. All the male dancers are independent contractors. You have been doing this for 25 years, 30 years, coming up on a bigger anniversary. You dance with them, a professional dry hump. For 30 years, thousands of ladies. You try to not develop feelings for them, right? You try not to. It's a job. But you talk with Cassie, cordial. She asked to be able to call you just to set up the sessions. We were never asked to talk. She was comfortable with you. She said so. You had feelings for her. Incorrect. But you thought she was the only doing this with you. That's correct. She said it was a special occasion. You did not develop feelings for her. That's not correct. You told the government. The government notes say you developed feelings for her. That may have been taken out of context. You used your 25-year experience. This was a different scene. Usually I aim for humor. You would try to dry hump someone who didn't want to be dry humped, correct? Yes, it's important to read the room. So you read the room with Cassie, and she wanted. Objection sustained in regards to what Cassie wants. I'm guessing that's speculation. Was Mr. Combs' request that you penetrate? It was a demand, a strong suggestion. Cassie paid you even when she cancelled, right? Yes, $500. Mr. Hayes, I wish you success with your book. Thank you. Redirect. What made you think Cassie was enjoying herself? It was the first time unpredicted, without the details. Objection. And the only recross here was, what do you mean by steamy? He said, I felt it was enjoyable for Ms. Ventura and Mr. Combs. And that's it for his testimony. So I personally thought, when I read through his testimony, I thought he was weak for the sex trafficking charge, because what he established in the direct was basically that they would hire him to come and do erotic scenes. And I think I question why he came here, because end of the day, last time I checked, people can still do, like, this is what is kind of causing some confusion here in regards to the free offs and how it's done, because I think the fact that he does it under I think you can argue. I think his team can argue on closing that he hired these escorts to come and shoot pornographic movies akin to people that were doing porn, albeit it was private. But he would hire them to do such, which they could easily argue that is not illegal. Like so. It would go badly for the prosecution charge that he has. That's what I think anyway. That it will be hard for them to kind of show that because or the it'll be hard for them to kind of show that because they, as he testified to, a lot of this was to come and do scenes which it is not illegal. So how are the prosecution going to contend when the lines are blurred like this? How are they going to? This is why I think that they're using Cassie to kind of show the RICO element rather than sex trafficking elements, because they do have free witnesses that is going to come in to testify in regards to sex trafficking. There is more to come in regards to this trial, so I want to hear what those witnesses have to say, because if they were not escort workers but they were paid as if they were escort workers, then Diddy is in big trouble. But so far, I think they're doing a good job. The prosecution is doing a good job in putting on the RICO case so far. They brought in Dr. Hughes from who is an expert witness. You may have remembered her from the Depp v. Heard trial. She gave an opinion in regards to how DV impacts the nature of a relationship. What I think she was brought in to do mainly was to show the coercive aspects in regards to abuse, which goes into the force elements of the sex trafficking. So what they're trying to do is basically set the jury, in my opinion, they're trying to set the jury with the mindset that because she was being abused regularly, that this is enough to prove force in regards to her, right? That this is enough to show that there was a lot of force, that there was a dangerous amount of force, that there was dangerous harm being brought on against Cassie, and she couldn't really leave the relationship nor leave her deal that easily. Although I do think that, again, this is not a domestic violence trial, so maybe I'm not sure how she is a valuable witness for that. But going through her testimony, I'm not sure how the jury would react to her testimony, whether they would really regard it. But yeah, I just thought I mentioned her. There was also I'm not gonna go through the Agent Gannon's I'm not gonna go through Agent Gannon's testimony, because it was just a formality and just basically what they found in the home when they raided and the processes with that. I'm trying to I'm gonna go into Kaplan's testimony quickly. Let me just go in here. The next week, so George Kaplan is an employee of Bad Boy, and he was an executive assistant. I'll try and keep it quickly. So basically, who did you report to? Mrs. Coram, KK. She essentially ran Mr. Gomes' life. Where did you report? LA. What did you do? Carried his bags and made such things where and when he wanted them. As he trusted me more, he had me do around more. I would set up hotel rooms. So I didn't read this earlier, but he was getting paid 125K a year. Oh, it's coming up. How many hours? He would work 80 to 100 hours a week. How much did you get paid? 125K a year to start. What did you do in the morning? Make sure everything was in the bathroom. The breakfast was cooked. He was recording a mixtape. So we worked late. Who was security? Uncle Paulie, D Rock, and Ruben. Later, licensed security in the second half of 2015. How frequently did you communicate with Mr. Combs? Multiple times a day. Things could be in the back, an iPad, drugs, whatever. Did he threaten you? He threatened my job. How often? Maybe monthly. He would say he was only to be surrounded by the best people, and that he wasn't. For example, he went with, I'm guessing it says, with me for 1 liter of water, and I brought back 2.5 liters. He said no. How did you travel? On his jet, or going in advice to make sure it's all set up? How did you set up hotel rooms? There was a bag, I unpacked it, clothes, candle, Astroglide, baby oil. Who bought this? Often me. In what cities did you set up hotel rooms? LA, NY, Miami. In LA, Mr. C. Bel Air, the Incontinental. In NY, Trump by Columbus Circle. In Miami, the SLS. How was it booked? Frank Black, based on Biggie's Frank White. Would you clean up rooms? Yes, balls of baby oil, Gatorade, once brown crystallized powder on the counter of the bathroom sink. Just for reference, I don't think they're gonna beat this allegation that Diddy and Biggie had some kind of relationship. I don't think they're gonna beat the allegation. Why did you clean up? Not hotel staff. It was implied to protect his public image. I was keen on doing that. So I believe that they're using this. This is how he got the staff to do various tasks for him that may be considered illegal. So I think this was a good question because it is a broad way to say clean up. It kind of sets up what it's going to say later. I found hotels would sell photos to newspapers to shame guests. Did he reach out to you from the room for food, clothes, sometimes drugs? I did it. What drugs? Dope kit. Illegal drugs? I object to the term illegal. What other drugs? Advil, ketamine. What was he asked for? I picked up drugs for him. MDMA. Who asked? Mr. Combs in LA and Miami. In Miami, Mr. Combs asked me to call a person. He came and gave me a bag of pills. MDMA, I gave him cash. I gave the pills to Mr. Combs. And in LA, I went out and met the person in Hollywood. I gave money, he gave me a bag. Okay, and that was done for the day. Let's go to the final day. The final day of the week, which is day 9. When did you carry cash for Mr. Combs? 50K on his private jet. Did you pick up cash for Mr. Combs? 10K at Western Union from Combs Enterprises. What long-term relationship of Mr. Combs were you aware of? Cassie, Kim, Gina. Who was Kim? Mother of his children. Cassie, girlfriend. Gina, another girlfriend. The jet flight to Las Vegas. What was the layout of the jet? 4 chairs, a partition. I had partial view over my right shoulder. When you witnessed violence by Mr. Combs on Miss Ventura, why did you intervene? My career. After the last glass breaking, what did Mr. Combs do? He came forward. Cassie stayed in the back. He asked me to get creams to conceal the bruising on her face. How did you pay for it? Corporate credit card. Why did you leave Combs Enterprises? I didn't think I should be covering things up like buying the witch hazel. My father had prostate cancer. Any violence? He would throw things at Gina in the entryway of the main stories. So the fact that he was covering things up, this and that, this goes again back into the enterprise part of the business, because he was getting his employees to basically cover up the witnesses, cover up the damages or the harm, the abuse, the injuries that was caused to Cassie by in his hands. So as he testified to earlier, he asked me to get creams to conceal bruising on her face. This is not looking good. This is not good, because this adds to the enterprise where he will get his workers to conceal him from to conceal his crimes. What was he throwing? green apples. How hard? Very hard. Later, I took medicine. I took the medicine bag into our room. Mr. Combs wanted me to leave quickly. Then what? I heard Gina at the gate and more voices. Who? Security. When you left, what did you do? I collected myself, then went to work for an integrated marketing firm. Cross examination. Why did you work for Combs Enterprises? He was an incredible entrepreneur. I learned from him. What did Brian do as COO? Ensuring profitability of each unit. I was an employee when Revolt TV launched. Tell me about it. We were on 6th floor of 1710 Broadway. Everyone was there. It was momentous. Diversity was important to Mr. Combs, specifically for African Americans. What did Blue Flame do? Marketing for Ciroc. What is Diageo? They own Jenny Walker and others. Mr. Combs set up a marketing entity for Ciroc. Your job, what was it? For example, Mr. Combs would say, "We are going to leave the house." He meant 3 to 5 minutes. I had a checklist for the bags and toiletry. It was bad. It was a bad look in me if something wasn't in there. Is there a binder near you? I can't read that. It says Southern District. I'm handing you something to refresh your recollection. Take a look at as long as you want. You ran an offsite business. You ran an offsite training. A graduate from Harvard Business School, also Kenny Burns. I remember. You were effective, right? I worked hard. I don't know how your answer was it good or bad. Complicated. He didn't need to yell at you when you bought 2 waters. I worked hard. Okay, who was Biggie? A huge rapper who unfortunately passed away. Wasn't Biggie's birthday a holiday at Combs Enterprises? Yes. Was it a creative environment? It attracted all kinds of creative people, lawyers, musicians, advertising people. A few specific questions. You use a corporate credit card? Yes. How did Mr. Combs pay? KK held his wallet with black Amex in it. You have no reason to think he kept track of how baby oil was paid for. No reason. Or applesauce. He lost applesauce. On cheeseburgers. On everything. Let's talk about the plane. You heard glass breaking. You didn't see it. I didn't see it. The incident with Gina. You walk into the house. There's a thin table. I don't know. You don't remember how a person could get out of the gate at 2 Star Island? No. I just heard screaming and commotion. Screams of terror or how can I open this gate? I don't know how to distinguish between the two. He threatened your jobs, but did he physically threaten you? No. And that's an important distinction, because if he physically threatened him, that would be forced labor. But at the same time, it can also be threats can also be non-physical for it to be forced labor as well. But I thought that was a good point he highlighted. You talked about Kim Porter, how she was different. It's respect for her. They had incredible kids. Thank you. When you set up hotel room for Mr. Combs and Miss Porter, there was no baby oil, right? Lotions. You expressed caution about hotels while you clean the room afterward. Hotel staff could sell photos. Everyone wants a payday. You sent him a photo of your Kim Porter. After she died, I was heartbroken for him. You were close. I invited him to my wedding. I didn't hear back. Objection. And then, it was surprise looks. And I wish I saw this from the jury, because it is weird that you object to your own, question that you solicited the answer from. So you respected him? Yes. Was this photo of me, KK, and Mr. Combs at Teterboro Airport? He would just got the jet. That's why there was champagne. You're happy there, right? No, refresh it. It's that I was glad I had found the mascara in the back seat. They found you and subpoenaed you. I had to retain counsel right away. No further. Redirect. Which incident shook you? The plane with Cassie and apples with Gina. I felt guilty. I didn't do anything after the incident with Cassie on the plane. But you didn't see any injuries. People can be injured without injuries being visible. The tonality and the tension with the apples he threw at Gina, it was troubling. You told Miss Coram about both incidents. Yes, and I told her I am unwilling to stand behind the behavior, that I was quitting. Did Christina say she would quit? No. How long did she stay after you told her? Until recently. So I think that this was an incredible witness for the feds, because end of the day, they tried to clean it up. The defense, you can tell that they're trying to clean it up by going back to what he was doing and how much he worked to get to that level that he had done, and try to make it seem it was all business wise. But there's no covering the fact that he had to clean up the injuries, and that testimony was really damaging. The fact that he had to conceal the injuries, etc., it really goes into the RICO enterprise. This was a very good witness for him. And finally, we're not gonna stay long on Kid Cudi's testimony, because I don't really think it was that deep or that strong, and we're gonna go through why. So let's go through. We call Scott Miss Cudi. Kid Cudi takes a witness stand in a leather jacket, white shirt, and blue jeans. What did she do for work? I'm an actor and musician known as Kid Cudi. Who is this? Cassie. We dated in 2011. Who else was she involved with? Sean Combs. What did you know about their status? That she and Sean Combs had some problems, and they weren't dating anymore. In December 2011, did law enforcement respond to your home? Yes, I had a break-in. Cassie called me at 5:30 or 6 a.m. She said Sean Combs had found out about us. She asked me to pick her up, so I did. Yeah. Why? She was worried. What was her demeanor? Very stressed and worried. Where did you go? The Sunset Marquise. Why? I thought it was safe, off the radar. Who else did you speak with? Capricorn Clark. She sounded near tears. What did she say? That Sean Combs in the car near my house. The objection is overruled. You called Sean Combs? I did. He said, I'm over here waiting for you. When you arrived, what did the outside look like? Pretty normal. Any security camera? Yes, but I found out they weren't working. But the security cameras had been moved. Did you move them? No. But what did you see inside your home? Gates were open. Some stuff I got from Chanel, and my dog was locked up in the bathroom. How did you usually leave your dog? I would let him roam. How long had you had your dog? 3 years. What changes were your behavior of your dog after the break-in? Jittery, on edge all the time. I got back in and called Sean Combs again. I was looking for him. I wanted to fight him, Did he answer? Yeah, he said, I'm on my way. I thought to myself, objection, that's probably grounds of non-responsive, overruled. When you saw Cassie, how did she seem? Depressed. Did you see Cassie in Connecticut? Yes, she needed it. Did Mr. Combs call you? Yes, he hit me a few times. Call me. What did you say? That I didn't want to talk with him. He broke into my house, hurt my dog. Did you and Ms. Ventura break up? Yes. What about your car? My dog's babysitter called me and told me my car was on fire. Where were you? At a relative of my ex-girlfriend. Where did you go? To my house, 8925 Hollywood Hills Road. Let me show you 6 pictures. Do you recognize my Porsche? That's the damage to my Porsche from the Molotov cocktail. Who took these photos? Chip, a good friend and collaborator. What's depicted here? The hole they cut in the roof of my car to put it in the Molotov cocktail. What was your reaction to your car being set on fire? Is like, what the F? Objection is overruled. Will you finish? Okay, they are gone back on their break. Okay. It says, was the damage on your car present before the call from the dog sitter? No. Did you think it was accidental or intentional? Intentional. Where did you last see Miss Ventura? At the Soho House, I would reach out to Sean Combs and said, let's talk. This is getting out of hand. Can we have a sidebar? Do you have an objection? Yes. Sustained. Disregard and move on. Who set up the meeting at the Soho House? D-Rock and my manager. What was Mr. Combs doing? Standing there looking like a Marvel superhero villain. He said, we were homies. You know that is my girl. What did you say? I thought you had broken up. Then Sean Combs offered me water twice. It was weird, Sean Combs being so calm. What did Cassie say? That we are falling in love. Things happened. What did you say to Mr. Combs? What about my car? He said, I don't know what you're talking about. I walked away. Did you see Sean Combs later? A few years later, also at Soho House, he said, "I'm just sorry for all that BS. I was surprised, so I found peace with it." No further questions. Mr. Steele, cross examination. I want to ask you questions about your Porsche in 2012. I apologize. You get a call about damage to your vehicle. Any surveillance photos? No, my dog's babysitter did send me pictures of the damage. The DNA taken. Are you aware it came back a female? Objection. No foundation sustained. Did you know the DNA? Do you know that there were DNA results? No. Miss Ventura told you it was over. We just stopped talking. You told this honorable court and this jury that she played you. Yes, she played you and you had no clue. No clue. In 2011, you went on tour. Yes. 65 locations. Yes. At that time, Sean Combs as an icon, fair to say. Yes. You and Miss Ventura had a sexual relationship. Objection. Sidebar. Mrs. Steele, can I? No, you can do that on redirect. Do you want to tell me something? Sean Combs asked about me doing a song with Miss Ventura in 2010. Thank you. You believe that they left your front door unlocked? Yes. No forced entry? No. Just presence opened door in the bathroom? I'm not belittling, just asking. You called Sean Combs? Yeah. He was calm? Yes. You went to see him. You didn't think he had a gun? I couldn't call it. You are a strong person. That's how you categorize yourself. Yeah, this crossed the line. Miss Ventura told you she was abused? Yeah. But she never said she was sexually abused. True. She did not. You loved her. Tell me if I'm wrong. I did. You got played by the same person who played Mr. Combs, Cassie Ventura. In the 13 years since have you ever been notified in California that there has been any more action on this car fire? No. Did Ms. Ventura have multiple phones? I don't remember. 35 for 12? If I said it, I said it. Do you know what a burner phone is? Untraceable. The trespass, you call it a break-in. Ms. Ventura told you she given your home address to Mr. Combs. Yes, in the morning. No more questions? Thanks. Okay. Redirects. What did Ms. Ventura confide in you about abuse? That he would hit her, sometimes kick her? The day of the break-in, was she carefree? No. What did Capricorn Clark tell you? Sean Combs and an affiliate forced her into a car to come to my house. I called the police. How would you describe Cassie that day? Just really shook, him finding out about us. Why did your relationship with Miss Ventura end? The drama. It was getting out of hand. I wanted to give space. What drama? The break-in for my safety, her safety. Objection overruled. Us to speculation. Why did you have safety concerns? Because I knew Sean Combs was violent. Your Honor, may we approach? And it's been told to rephrase. Okay, what was your understanding? That he was lying? No further questions. Any recross? No, there was no recross, and I think there was more witnesses, but I don't think that they were really that important, in my opinion. And I don't think that Sean, in regards to Curtis' testimony, I only think he was only brought up to go into the arson charge, because his testimony didn't really show any RICO enterprise or anything like that. Just the character of Sean Combs and the fact that he knew about the abuse of Cassie. I think he was not that great for the feds because end of the day, the fire that he is accusing Sean Combs of, there was no record of it, and because he didn't make a record, it's hard to pin it on him for the arson because it could have been recorded by someone else. You now have to take his word for it, and the fact that there was solicitation during direct about the fact that he said, "I'm sorry about the BS, etc." You kind of have to infer that the arson was by Sean Combs, but we don't really know, and that's what I think was inferred a lot in the cross examination. But with the fact that I think Cassie said it in her direct, and it was corroborated here, it could be reasonably inferred that it helps with that Diddy was the one that done the arson. There are so many predicates that they're trying to hit, and they don't really need the arson predicate because I think that that they're doing well with the sex trafficking as well as showing that the employees were taking part, and were taking part in the drug trafficking, etc. I don't think they need to necessarily prove the arson part. But yeah, the other testimonies, they weren't really that important. I didn't see it as that important. But yeah, like I said, I think the case against Combs is really strong. I think he could be done. I think based on the testimony that has come out so far, that they have really established legally how the RICO and how he's using its employees to carry out certain acts. Like I said, their strongest witness is George Kaplan because he actually showed that they were concealing injuries, that albeit him, that he was the one that was concealing injuries of Cassie. So you could now go to imagine the other people that are gonna come up to testify. They're brought up D-Rock, Uncle Paulie, and I can't remember the other security guard, but they brought him up a lot, and I'm pretty certain that they're gonna testify against Diddy. But we're gonna be here to bring you the updates in regards to this case, to go through it weekly with you all, and I can't wait. Thank you. If you're watching this back on replay, thank you for tuning in and watching. Make sure you hit that like button, and also don't forget to subscribe as well to receive more content from us. I have videos coming on the channel, and I will try and get the Diddy videos out more often so that this podcast can be more can be more expedited and streamlined. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next Sunday for the Ketchup Court podcast. Have a great day or evening or night wherever you're at. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care of yourself. Bye bye now. The show is over, but that does not mean that the fun has to end. And I know how cliche that sounds, but really and truly, the fun really does not have to end. You know how good our streams are and how fun they can be. So we have decided to put them all into a podcast and a playlist format for you to binge on if you so wish. We also do recaps and clips of the best bits, the worst bits, all of those bits, lady bits, every bits, whatever it might be. We do that as well, and we upload onto the channel so in case you guys just you don't wanna watch the full thing, you have the option of watching just the short versions. It's up to you. You have the choice. You have the power, like E-Man. So without further, you can also check out the main Heinz website where we continue the discussions over there, but in a more broader context to try and get into the psychology of why all these things happen. The end screen should be up here so that you guys can see the content you guys can watch. The playlist will be on your left hand side or right hand side, I don't know which one, and the video that and a recap clip should pop up here. So without further, I'll just say bye, and I'll see you on the next stream and most importantly, the Unintentional Hero podcast. See you there.